when Jesus was asked, what are the signs of the times, what are the signs of your coming,
Right.
one of the comments was, there will be more earthquakes in diverse places, different places, and the analogy was given of earthquakes being in labor pains, meaning they will become more frequent and more intense. Now, this has been a highly debated topic, and so I'd like to discuss that a little and remove the facts from the myths. If you consult the USGS, they will tell you point blank, or they have actually released press releases stating that there are, in fact, no increase in worldwide earthquakes. And if you ask them why there's much more data today in earthquakes, they will contribute it to the sensitivity of the sensors. And there's thousands of more sensors being put out every year around the world, and the sensors are becoming more sensitive.
So the appearance of more earthquakes is just an illusion.
It's
caused by more of the ability to observe in more places at the same time.
Correct. But let's separate. It's misleading. It's misleading data. Because let's separate the micro tremors, which is not what Christ was talking about. He was talking about earthquakes, which you could obviously feel would be more intense. So we're talking about the intense earthquakes. So what we have done is we have taken all the USGS data we obtained directly from USGS for the last 100 years. Millions and millions of data points of USGS data. We've taken that data, we have downloaded it, we have researched it, we have studied it, we have separated every single piece of data that could not be picked up literally worldwide from the poorest sensor 100 years ago. So that when you strip out all the data of all the sensors, of all the noise from 100 years ago, and only look at earthquakes that have a magnitude of 6.3, and by the way, 100 years ago, any earthquake of 6.3 and higher, no matter where that earthquake existed on Earth, everybody on Earth could feel that earthquake. The sensors could pick it up. The sensors, I say, could pick up that earthquake wherever it happened. So using that as the basis in analyzing the data, I'd like to quickly show you the results of that data. It's relatively surprising.
And by the way, you have brought a little clip which we're going to look at, and then we'll discuss it.
Arguably, one of the most commonly discussed natural signs in the end days is the dramatic increase of earthquakes around the world, something that in geological time would be statistically unprecedented if it were actually happening during what many believe is the last generation.
That in the last days there'd be an increase in great earthquakes. Jesus used verbiage that means bigger earthquakes in unusual places. We're looking at things regarding, for example, greater hurricanes, greater typhoons, things that in nature you can sense that things are coming undone. And yet, if you looked at it naturally, you would say, well, this is due to global warming, or this is due to man's bad stewardship of the earth. But yet the Bible said as we approached the end, this is exactly what we would see, which, by the way, that preempts man's involvement.
The scriptures do tell us that earthquakes, specifically earthquakes, will increase in frequency and in intensity.
But wait a minute. Hasn't the U.S. Geological Survey, or USGS, gone on record to state that this is not occurring, that no such increase in earthquakes have been detected around the world?
Because this is such a debated topic, the USGS gave a press release saying that this was not occurring. As a result, we actually decided to take the USGS data, millions of data points, spent months downloading it, analyzing it, graphing it, studying it. The results were absolutely terrifying.
Despite what you may have heard in the past, this is the compiled data from the USGS from over the last 100 years. Keep in mind that we're not talking about the millions of microtremors that can now be detected from the distribution of more numerous and sensitive sensors, but strictly data from the larger earthquakes that can be felt by people beginning at 6.3 and up on the Richter scale, that could be easily detected by early 19th century sensors from virtually anywhere in the world. This data shows what the USGS and other organizations do not want you to see.
It shows that the earthquakes are increasing in intensity and they are increasing in frequency. This is exactly the description that was prophesied.
Well, Brent, that seems conclusive enough to me. And